of Module 1, Introduction to Tomcat Server. In this part, I will talk about the basic questions related to Tomcat Server and its installation. All right, so let's start. Our B.1, installation of Tomcat. All right, first, let us go to the Tomcat website. If you type Apache Tomcat, because if you just type Tomcat, you may have many different meanings of Tomcat. If you type Apache Tomcat, then you will get the Apache Tomcat website. Here, Apache, it is an open source software foundation. Open source software foundation with this logo. It is well known, and there are many software tools under this umbrella. Very important one, and we will use many tools from there in the future. All right. Then the Tomcat homepage looks like this. Here, when you download the Tomcat, you need to select from these most recent versions. But here, based on my experience, I may like to explain some difference among these versions so you can get yourself prepared a little bit. All right. Usually people like to select the most recent version, that is Tomcat 10. All right, For this class, all these three versions will work, but version 10 is slightly different. Version 10, based on my experience last semester, I had some, quite sticky problem. The reason is, look at the word here, Jakarta. Jakarta, it is a well-known name inside Tomcat. All right, so it is some project name. In version 10, Jakarta has some important change for version 10. All right, so here, let me talk about version 10 issue. In version 10, there is a package change. Package change. All right, so what kind of package change? The usual Java package, there is a Java X package, but in version 10, this package name is changed to that Jakarta. Jakarta. Why? I don't know. The reason, when I run a simple example, suddenly all my servlets in my relatively old examples, the servlet class couldn't be found. Why? Because under that old name, Java X package, later I searched the web, I found the solution is simple, just a change to Jakarta. Then it works. After that change, it works. But for you, you have the option. If you don't mind this kind of change, you can select Tomcat 10. But if you want to avoid the hassle like that, to be safe, just change Tomcat 9 or Tomcat 8. Probably 9 a little better. So then, for that case, no change of your old example. No change Yeah, just plug and play. Yeah, that's simple. All right, so that's the first thing I'd like you to know. Then next. All right, Tomcat binary distributions. Yeah. Here, yeah, when you go to the binary distributions, when you download specific files, then you are here, you need to select which part you want to download. Yeah. All right. So first, I like to talk about the file size of Tomcat, the binary file size. After you download it, 12.5 megabytes. Yeah. Here we download this part version, the core part. Core part. All right. Yeah. So the core part for Windows users, you select 64-bit Windows zip file. Yeah, 64-bit. Yeah. I believe at this time, most people should use 64-bit Windows version. Yeah, not 32. Too old. Too old. Yeah. So, all right. For Mac users, you may consider, this version, tar.gz, so you can on tar, your Mac machine should have the internal tools to, extract the files inside. All right. So then I will talk about the installation details. Yeah, before that, yeah. First, look at this file size for a server. It's pretty small, right? Yeah. So in our current software typical sizes, it is a relatively small size. Yeah. And why we treat it as a small size? Yeah. The reason is very simple, because this Tomcat version can be used as a production server. You know the production server, right? Yeah. The companies, yeah, many mid-size, small size, yeah, but not big size companies, they can use the server in there to run their real-world Java applications. Yeah. And specifically for a production server, it should have these three properties. Yeah. First, it should be very fast. Yeah. From the performance point of view, it is good enough, very fast. Second, it should be robust, very solid, okay, robust. Okay, yeah. And the third, secure, yeah. It's also very important. Yeah. And the current Tomcat version has all these three properties. Yeah. It's free, powerful, very solid. So if mid-size companies, if they like to choose relatively cheap solutions, it's a good choice. Yeah. But to let you know, the market share of Tomcat, when it is used as the production server, the market share pretty small. All right, only 1%. 1%, that is the whole web server market. All right, whole web server market. All right, yeah. Right, because people have a lot of better choices. All right, but that's for production server. For development server, it's another story. Development server, Tomcat is the most popular web server, Java web server. Development, yeah. And we will use Tomcat as our development server for this class. Yeah. But the reason I talk about production server, just give you some background knowledge. All right. So for this part B of Module 1, I mainly talk about the production server version. Yeah. All right, so next. And you can also notice there is this, the bottom selection, this version. All right, I can talk about a little bit because some people may think about this version. Yeah. It's called a Windows Service Installer version. What's the difference? Yeah. My suggestion, you try to avoid this version. Yeah. To avoid certain hassle, avoid this version. Yeah. So let me give you the main difference here. All right. First, the zip file version, I recommend you select this one. Installation is so simple. Just unzip it and put it in some appropriate location. That simple. All right. But for installer version, it is an executable file. You need to run the executable installer file. All right. But when you run it, it does some change. Okay, some possible change. You will, prepare for that kind of change. Yeah. All right. The main changing part, it will change some of your system environment variables. All right, in a hidden way. All right, in a hidden way. So you do not know what environment variables are changed, and it's hard to undone, remove. Yeah. So, and the bottom line, it's hard to reverse that kind of procedure. All right. Yeah. And it's hard to control that. Yeah. Not like zip version. We have 100% control. How good it is. 100% control. All right. That's nice. Yeah. Because when you uninstall it, you remove that folder installation. That folder, you remove it 100% from your machine. But for that installer version, that's not the story. It's hard to make a clean removal. Even you uninstall it, still some garbage left. And you cannot remove that garbage part. All right? So that's one important difference. Another important difference regarding this Windows service. When you install Tomcat as a Windows service, the consequence is it is always running. It is always running, right? Yeah. So ready to use, although ready to use, but most of the time we do not use Tomcat, right? Yeah. Only when you develop Java web applications, you need to use Tomcat. All right. But if you do not do the Java web development, you do not want to start your Tomcat because when it is running, it consumes the resource on your machine. Okay, consume the resource, and it occupies the port number. Remember the port number. Okay, port number 8080. The default Tomcat port number, because each port number can only be used by one service. One, on your whole machine, only one service can use one particular port number. Otherwise, if a second service needs to use that, there is a conflict problem and it won't work. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so that's the reason my recommendation, avoid that installer version as much as you can. Yeah. All right. Next, now finally, we get to this Tomcat installation. So simple. Unzip it, put it in the appropriate location. Here, I just use my machine to explain it. On my machine, you can see it's a Windows machine, and on my C drive, I create a folder called a Java EE folder because I may need to install many software tools related to Java EE technology. So I want to maintain them in a well-organized way. In that way, I do not need to go to many different locations to find those tools. Yeah. So under this big umbrella, I have another subfolder, I call it servers. Yeah. So here you can see I have many different versions of Tomcat, yeah, including Tomcat version 10, 10.9a, yeah, those versions. All right. Yeah. Here, let's say this one is the one I select for the semester, version 9. Yeah. I want to avoid that kind of package change issue. Okay, not efficient. All right. For me, every time I need to change the package name, it's not efficient for me. Yeah. So for this version, then after I unzip it into this servers subfolder, then let us get into that Tomcat root directory, this one. Yeah. So I show you the structure, the root. Yeah. All right. So here, let me explain the main folders one by one. The first one, that bin folder, binary. Look at this bin. Yeah, we know, point to the, binary commands. All right, yeah. So you can expect what we can do there. Later, when I show you the Tomcat commands, we will get into this subdirectory. All right, yeah. If you have the Unix background, so you should be familiar with this kind of directory, right? Yeah, yeah. All right. So that is the, one of the basic directories. Second one, conf. Conf refers to configuration. Okay, configuration. All right. So we use the several configuration file inside, configure. Yeah. And with that, with appropriate configuration settings, we can change behaviors. All right, certain behaviors. All right. So here I do not talk about the details. Now, when we need to do something related, then I will talk about details there. All right. Yeah. Then next one, this lib folder, library. So the related JAR, you know, Java archive file, okay? Java archive file, JAR library files. You like to use in your Java web applications, we place there. All right, yeah. But this location, because it is inside the server, when you want to put one Java library file there, you need to make sure it should be commonly used file. Commonly used. Not rarely used. Yeah. Rarely used, you have some other locations to place. Yeah. Because you don't want to put too many rarely used Java library files in this folder. Okay. Yeah. So that's, you know, not a good way. Okay. Remember, this is a production server. All right. This is a production server. All right. Okay. So then there is another important location. Look, this one, web apps. This folder, also very important, production version. All right. This one, there is an important concept. It's called a document root. Document root, this is concept for all web servers. Yeah. Not just Java web service, all web servers. Okay. In order to provide services for outside world, this folder is needed. This directory is needed. Yeah. Document root. Yeah. All right. Okay. So here, yeah, each web, to be precisely, each web server must have a directory like this. Yeah. The reason is because we have servers that may not be web servers, right? Yeah. For example, we may have, you know, database servers. Okay. You cannot say a database server requires this directory inside it. You cannot say that, right? So here, to be more precisely, I put this web server. All right, yeah. And how do we use it? Yeah, it's very simple. It contains all the web applications. You deploy, here, we use this. Yeah, you deploy all your web applications here. Okay. Yeah. How to deploy that issue, I will talk about that later. Deployment issue later. Yeah. All right. So with this kind of basic knowledge, yeah, get you all prepared, then we can move to next a few steps. We want to start using Tomcat. Yeah. Here still the production way to use Tomcat, not development way. Yeah. Development way, when we go to module 2 and later after that, all we talk about development way, yeah, not production way. Production way only here in module 1. After that, we bypass it. All right. So this is my B.1. Yeah. Work on Tomcat. In this part, I like to do some preparation before we can start running Tomcat. Yeah. Basically, we do some environment preparation. Yeah. That is very important. Yeah. So let's look at that part. Work from command line. Yeah. For production, this is the typical way to work on it. Command line. Yeah. For development way, we do not need to use this way. Yeah. People try to avoid command line approach. Yeah. So that's a old time way. Yeah. But this is a production version. All right. In order to do it, the first thing, you need to set appropriate environment variables for Tomcat. Yeah. There is one important environment variable needed. Yeah. Here, I just use Windows machine to explain that step. Yeah. For Mac version, you may need to search the web. Yeah. All right. On Windows machine, usually people go to this window. Yeah. So you can get to this window easily. Yeah. Set environment variable. There is a button at this bottom right corner, environment variables. After you click it, another window pops up. You can fill in the appropriate environment variables. Yeah. But in this class, I do not recommend this way. Okay. So here, let me write avoid this way. Because it may not be safe. All right. Because in this way, when you say environment variable, these things are very important for Windows system. When you start your window will use environment variables, at the beginning. When the window starts, all the variables will be prepared for the Windows version. Then, if by accident you type some variable value wrong, sometimes it happens, you mistype one of the characters, your window may not be able to start it. Yeah, I had that experience before. The window cannot be started. It's scary. Yeah. So I have to find the, safe mode, right? Start window under safe mode. Then I have to, change it back. Yeah. That's really scary. Yeah. So that's why my recommendation, avoid this way, to save a lot of trouble, big trouble. Yeah. So for this class, I like to introduce a safe way. Yeah. In my next slide, that is a safe way. We won't touch the Windows system environment variable directly. We will do an indirect way. Yeah. All right. So then we need to open a command window to enter command to run Tomcat servers. In our part 3, I will show you how to run it. Yeah. All right. Then, before we can run it, we need to also double check our Java installation. Yeah. Tomcat relies on your Java installation. But when we talk about Java installation here, so I show you the most recent version I just installed. Yeah. So the version is this one. You can look at the default location. Also pay attention to this place. C:\program space files. In that folder, there is a Java folder inside it. Then our JDK version, JDK, Java Development Kit, JDK, version 18 something, point something. All right, yeah. Leave the default. If you do not have a good reason, do not change it. Only when you have a good reason, you change that location. All right, yeah. So here, after the installation, I just open up, we go to that location. So you will see your JDK version here. Yeah, so that's the one I just installed, JDK, okay? Yeah, so then we can use it. All right. And here, I may like to talk about the important concept, because for some students, you may see things a little different, because sometimes you may see the folder inside that Java folder, JRE something, some version number, JRE version number. So I like to talk about the difference between JRE and JDK. They are different. JRE, the meaning of the full name, Java running environment, okay? Java runtime environment, yeah. Runtime environment. Environment, all right. So you can see, typically, it is used to start a Java runtime environment. So what's that? In order to run a Java executable Java, yeah, here, in order to run executable Java files, already after they are developed, compiled, packaging, make it executable, then it's ready for JRE version to run it. All right, but not for JDK. Emphasize development. All right, development, it is much more than the runtime version. In other words, JDK contains JRE. JRE is part of the JDK. All right, yeah. So JDK is a superset of JRE, and a JRE is a subset of JDK. All right, so if you know this relationship, then when you see you have a JDK, it automatically contains JRE. So you don't worry about JRE. So you have everything you need. But if you just have JRE part, then you cannot do development. You can only run executable Java files. That's the main difference. All right. So for this class, we need a JDK version. We need to do more things. All right. Then, next, I want to talk about setting the key system environment for Tomcat. Yeah. All right. Here, we need to set Java home environment variable. Java underscore home, capital. All right. Case sensitive. Java, capital Java underscore capital home. This variable, environment variable name. Then location, this location points to your specific JDK installation location. Yeah. Check the version, the spelling exactly the same. All right. And pay attention to a space here. Yeah. I provide my version of this file for this class. So you can download my version. Under Module1PartB, you can find this file. Yeah. The file name is called setenv.bat. Windows BAT file. In Windows.bat file, we know it's a Windows wins batch file. Okay. Wins batch file. In Windows batch file, we can put many commands inside. Yeah, we run a sequence of Windows commands in a batch, one after another, in batch. All right, that's the meaning. All right, and in Windows, we treat it inside Windows environment. We treat it as an executable file. Okay, Windows treats it as an executable file. All right, yeah. Later, we can type it as a command, Windows command. All right, in our part B.3, we will run this file as a Windows command. All right, so what is the Windows command? You look at the file name, setenv, right? Setenv, the file name, we type this name as Windows command because it is already executable. All right, so it becomes a valid Windows command. All right, okay, yeah. So then location. So this setenv file, we place it inside this Tomcat bin folder. Remember your Tomcat location, bin folder, we copy it into that bin folder. All right, so get ready for our B.3. All right, so that's B.2 part. Yeah. Demo, start Tomcat. Before I show you Tomcat in action, I'm working on it. All right, just simple steps. Let me just go through some basic, related information. Yeah, so get you prepared, ready for that. Yeah. All right. Start and stop Tomcat. We just do that. So in this part, start and stop. And I like you to see one more thing. After start and stop, another thing I like you to know, that is Tomcat in action. I like you to see it works, right? Yep, something, visibly there. Yeah, so you can feel about it. Yeah. All right, so that part. First, we need to open a command window. Here, I still use Windows machine to show you. Yeah. So on my machine, so on a typical Windows machine, to open a command, so in our Windows search bar, okay, at your bottom left, in that Windows search bar, so we type the name of the command, Windows CMD, represent the name for that command window. Then a list pop up, you can select that Windows command item. Yeah. After you make that selection, then you see this little small black window pops up, ready to enter your command. All right, that's the first step. The second step, remember, we need to go to the directory, subdirectory inside Tomcat that allows us to enter Tomcat command. So that location is important. Yeah. That location I explained in B.1, the bin directory, all right? That binary command directory of Tomcat installation directory. We need to go there, change, yeah. So look at the, the current location, that is the C, user's name, but we need to get to a different subdirectory. How to go there in a simple way? Here, we use this way. Yeah. All right. So in this command window, we type cd command, similar to Unix command, cd, change directory, right? That's the Unix similar command. Cd space, then the location, your destination location. Here, let me use the, path of your dest sub dir, right? For short. Yeah. But the question is how to type, enter that path of your destination location, in a efficient way, in a simple way. Yeah. Here, there is a simple and a fast way. So step number 3, we use drag and draw feature inside window to, to help us point to that destination subdirectory. Okay. Later I will show you. It's pretty simple. Yeah. So then after that step number 3, the last step, type Tomcat commands. You start Tomcat. So here, before you type in this step, before we run Tomcat, remember we need to set environment variable first, right? We need to, don't forget that part. If you forget that step, then you cannot get your Tomcat started. It will complain an error message telling you what's that? Your Java _ home environment variable not available. You will get available. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, available. All right. Yeah. That kind of error. All right. Yes. So we need to remember we already copy that set env .bat to that bin folder, right? Yeah, that one, yeah. So here I assume it's there, right? Yeah. So the next thing at the command window, so we just type set env. You do not need to type .bat. Although if you type .bat, it's okay. We just save some type strokes. All right. Yeah. Set env. Enter. Then this Java home environment variable is set. Ready to go. And the good thing about this step, this Java environment, this step, you only do it once. All right. Next time, if you want to start you just start Tomcat directly, based on my experience. So my second time, I do not need to type set env another time. All right. Okay. Then after that, start Tomcat server start up. Yeah. So there is a binary executable file. Yeah, not binary. Yeah, executable. Yeah, because it yeah. Startup. We don't know if it's binary or not, but it's not important. It is executable. Startup, then Tomcat, another black command window pops up, running large number of commands. Yeah. So, and the Tomcat ready. So we can test it. After this, we can test it using a web browser. Okay, I will show you. Yeah, in the web browser, we type localhost, http://localhost, the port number, default Tomcat port number, enter. Then we will see the Tomcat homepage. That's the thing I'm talking about in action. When you see that page, Tomcat is running in action. Yeah. All right. At the end, shut down Tomcat. The last one. Yeah. Shut down Tomcat. Stop Tomcat server. You type this command, shut down. Then the running window for Tomcat is dismissed. So you stop the Tomcat. Yeah. All right. So let me show you these simple steps on my machine. Yeah. It should be pretty easy, yeah, pretty fast. So let me show demo here. All right. The first thing, type here, command window CMD. All right, you see, command prompt. Yeah, so it's there. All right. Second, get to that location, CD. All right, yeah, space. Then point to our Tomcat installation, the bin directory, right? Yeah. On my machine, let me find it. This Java EE servers, this version, Tomcat. All right. Then the bin. All right. So this one. All right. We do not need to get into it. Yeah. Just right here. All right. I need to use a drag and a drop. So let me show you. Yeah, I want to. Oh, anyway, yeah, it's quite, yeah. All right, so this bin, I selected, drag, and I drop here. All right, so, okay, enter. Yeah, so we are there, pretty easy, pretty fast. We do not need to type a long string. Yeah. All right, so here, all right, in order to see what command there, dir, so you can see a list of command. Set env is also there. Set env.bat. All right, so let's first run that command. Set env, enter. All right. Okay, yeah, no error. This Java home environment variable is set. All right, then we're ready to start Tomcat. Let's type the startup commands. Start up. Okay, make sure your spelling is correct. Okay, start up. All right, yeah, enter. Then another window pops up. All right, a list of, yeah, so you do not need to know what's that. When it is ready, when you see certain number of milliseconds. All right, the last line, start up in certain number of milliseconds. Yeah, and it becomes stable, not scrolling down. Yeah, like this. Then you are ready. So let us bring up web browser. Yeah. All right, so here, localhost. All right, yeah, here I have this one, old 88, yeah, no slash. All right, yeah, all right. Let me type the full. Yeah, I don't want something, local host colon 8080. All right, enter. See, Tomcat homepage ready. All right, we do not need to know how to use it. A lot of things we can do. All right, yeah. At this point, we just see it. It works. It is ready to do a lot of things. That's all we need for this point. All right. But before we finish today, the last thing we need to do, stop Tomcat, right? Stop Tomcat. So I need to go back to our previous command window right here. Let us type the command. All right, shut down, right? Shut down, enter, okay? Then the Tomcat running window is dismissed, and after that shutdown, if you want to run this page, it won't be available, all right? Let me refresh it. It won't be available because Tomcat is shut down. Refresh it. Yeah, this site cannot be reached because the server is gone. All right. All right. So that's all you need to learn for our part B of module 1. All right. So we stop right here.